yo, yo.
Young folks, old folks, everybody come to Kids Club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door, and we'll tell you Bible stories that you never heard before. Hello, children. I'm Pastor Ted. Get ready. I'm going to read the Bible. You're going to hear a story. Today's story is about Jesus's disciples and apostles. When you and I learn about Jesus in school or in Kids Club, we are disciples. When we tell others about Jesus, then we are apostles. Jesus had hundreds of disciples, but on the day of Pentecost, those disciples became apostles, and 12 of them are special. Look at this painting. Can you find Jesus? There he is in the center. This was painted by Leonardo da Vinci in Italy many hundreds of years ago. And it tells the story. I'm going to read it in John chapter 13, verse 21. Jesus in the center speaks and says, "Very truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." All the disciples get upset. Can you see how upset they are? Now, we have a copy of this painting in our Cross and Crown Church. You should walk around and look at the walls. See if you can find a copy of this painting, The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. Now, we're going to tell the story of one of Jesus's disciples. One of the most important disciples who became an apostle is St. Peter. The blue arrow points to St. Peter on this icon. Where is Peter in Da Vinci's Last Supper painting? There he is. The blue arrow points him out. Now take a look at this painting of St. Peter by the artist El Greco. I think something is fascinating about his name. He's called Simon, he's called Peter, he's called Cephas, and Peter and Cephas mean rock. Peter in Greek and Cephas in Aramaic. And my name is Pastor Ted Peters. I'm named after St. Peter. You could call me Pastor Rock. Well, that's important for the story I'm about to read in Matthew chapter 16. Jesus says, "Who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock," see, you are Petrus, "and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of heaven will not overcome it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Whoa, what a story. Now take a look at this painting of Peter by Peter Paul Rubens. What's in his right hand and his left hand? Keys. Whenever you see a picture of St. Peter, you expect to see a key in his hand. Why is that? Well, because Jesus said you have the keys to the kingdom, and if you can imagine the New Jerusalem as heaven, and there's a great big gate in front, St. Peter opens that gate with these big keys. Now, we think that St. Peter died in Rome. He was killed by the Romans there, and in Rome today we have this church called St. Peter's Basilica. It's a very giant church in the Vatican, and there is a statue of St. Peter holding what? A key. Now you know everything about Peter the rock who holds the key.
Young folks, old folks, everybody come to Kids Club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door, and we'll tell you Bible stories that you never heard before. Goodbye, kids.